Somebody tell him what it is. Okay, so great. He hadn't been to orientation, so he doesn't know what it is. So tell him, what is it?
We got pushing numbers in.
Okay, what kind of numbers am I asking you for? It's like your daily 10-4, but there's a few more things, okay? Because I asked, did you sign a BBA, right? Did you take a new listing, right? Did you have a closing, and how much was your commission? I mean, how much was your GCI? Yes, ma'am.
You should add buyer's appointments to that. We may have an appointment, but not get a BBA out.
Okay, so,
I'd like to put how many buyers.
Rebecca, did you hear her say that? No, we're gonna do tall chairs.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna be large and in charge in a minute. Okay, so, she said, when you add questions in the tracker of, did you have a buyer appointment? In addition to, did you actually take a BBA? Okay, so what happens if you don't turn it, if you don't do it by Monday morning? Somebody tell these new people what's gonna happen. You would be in trouble. Okay, and I said, I'm dead serious. I'm gonna start taking people off small group coaching. If you can't honor our time and what we're asking, then that's reciprocated, right? Because I have to report my numbers to my MAPS coach, and I get yelled at, and I do not like to be yelled at. Okay, so that comes out on Sundays. It's from the text only line. Don't respond to that text only line, right? Just it's a link. You're just gonna fill it out on Sundays by Monday morning. Even if you have zeros. Oh.
turn off and on.
Okay, so we already talked about this. You've got to submit those contracts to us, at least your first one or two, before you send to your client. All right, if you have taken a listing in the month of August, please stand up. With the real Slim Shady, please stand up. Okay, so congratulations to these people that have had. All right, if you have gone under contract with a buyer or a seller, not a listing agreement or a buyer brokerage, but if you actually have taken a contract in the month of August, please stand up. All right, so here's what now I'm gonna have. So Rebecca, did you see it? It's Rebecca, it's David, it's Iman, and it's Tiffany. And here's the deal. If your name isn't on that report that the office just sent me, I'm gonna fuss at you, because that means you haven't turned it into Carlos, who is the mafioso back there, who's gonna in his red jacket. Doesn't he look good in his red jacket? Okay, so you have to turn those things in to hit submit for review within 48 hours of a contract going binding. Okay, it's real important. So, does everybody know what the tree is and what it represents out here on the wall? So this is our capper tree, right? And so as you have income, you will move up the tree until you cap, right? Till you graduate, you cap. So right now, all you people who haven't had any transactions and made any money are in the dirt. We want to get y'all out of the dirt.
Update your presentation.
Why?
I don't know, because it's got my note in it. That's fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay. Well, anyway, I don't know what that's about, so I won't worry for that. All right. My slides are to help me stay on track and tell you the things that I need to tell you. So who's going to get out of the dirt? Right? Okay. Y'all better. Everybody better say they're going to make some money, right? Otherwise, why would you be here? You know, because who's competitive, right? I hope that most of you are. All right. Is that right? Okay. Okay, who signed up for Mega Camp? Raise your hand. Okay, so I am going to highly push, encourage, kick, and all of you to sign up for Mega Camp. No, we ain't got time. So, because we've been talking about this, Dina's been talking about how important it is and what an opportunity it really is, because normally you have to travel. Normally it's $800. You have to travel, you have to spend all this other money, and you're not going to have to do that this time. And you need to know what's coming down the pipeline. Gary Keller is one of the smartest people I've ever known. And I don't know him personally, but I mean, he's been around. And what is in the trends that are coming, right? You need to know all that. You need to know about technology stuff. What are we rolling out? And then there are 3 tracks in which you can go into leads, listings, leverage. So of course, all of you are going to want to attend the leads. And so it's like masterminds. It's like this with top agents who are doing it. And they don't have just everybody who's a top agent, right? Okay, and I said top agents, but it's agents who are doing it at a high level, at the level that they want to be in. Right? So not everybody wants to be the MREA agent. That's okay. So they'll have people who are doing mid-level production. They're just doing it at a high level, meaning they're able to leverage stuff, still do that kind of production, and have a balanced life, or do things outside of real estate that bring them joy. Does that make sense? So you want to learn that kind of stuff. All right. So we talked about everything that y'all know all this. We're going to keep going. Misty's does 1 evening workshop a month. These are the only people who showed up for that workshop. I just floored by that. She covered the 36 touch. What does that actually mean? That's talking about smart plans. How do you touch? So every time we're telling you what the topic is and the time. Once a month, there is a workshop. And if people don't start attending it, we won't do it. Okay? I'm just telling you. So here's the next one. September 16th, and it's on the buyer consultation. And it is Zoom. And we post all that.
And text.
And we text it. Right. I mean, yeah. No reason why y'all shouldn't know all this stuff. All right. Who wants masks? You need to see us before you leave. All of you should be getting some masks if you can at all afford it, because this is a great touch to your clients. Look, Carlos has his on back there, right? Don't you want to see all the people you know walking around with Keller Williams mask and talking to people about you? Yes. So give them a mask, right? And ask them to take a picture of themselves with it on and tag you in it, post it on Facebook. Okay? Because that's going to continue to get you. Okay, did y'all get masks?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, these are your top agents back here. Are you using touches? Are people so grateful? Yeah, I posted it on my Facebook page and said, who wanted one? Right? I had about, 8 or so people. Some people I didn't have even their address for. So I was able to say, hey, send me your address. And you can mail them. Y'all should do Popeyes though, so you can actually see people. That would be better. All right, so we talked about bingo. We're rolling out production bingo on September 1st. So be on the lookout. You're going to receive a bingo card that has all these tasks for you to do for the month of September. And I have some really awesome prizes. And we talked about that last time. I'm not going to go into it now because we're running out of time. Oh no, there it is. Look, Rebecca said that. And you asked me what was the blackout if you do every single one. And you can get multiple bingos. But if you do every single thing on here, the grand prize is a video session with a professional videographer who does, like, for you to go and do a video, okay? And I purchased that at the Cobb Realtor auction the other night, and it cost me $325. So I just want y'all to know I did that for y'all. We ain't got time for this. Ain't nobody got time for this.
Okay, come on, look. That was last night. That was yesterday. Go back, because I have a new one in there this morning.
Okay.
It's funky.
So I have a goal, right? I tell y'all all the time to go add friends of friends on your Facebook. Go add friends of friends, right? Because I want to have as many people have an opportunity to see the stuff I'm posting. Because that gives me more exposure to people. It gives me more of an opportunity to make relationships with people. And I cannot tell you how many times I meet somebody out and I have no idea who they are, but we're Facebook friends. And I have no idea who they are. And they can tell you everything about me. You have the cutest grandkids. And I don't know who they are. But because we're friends on Facebook, they see all that, right? and they know I'm a realtor. So I want to have as much exposure as I can, and that's the easiest thing. All they do is just say, they don't even have to say no. They just don't accept your friend request. So I want to get to 5,000 because somebody told me when you get to 5,000 friends, you become a public figure, and I just wanted to be a public figure. But then I've been told that's not actually true, so I don't really know. But because I'm competitive, I said, well, I'm telling y'all to go do this, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to see how long it takes me. So I started yesterday. I had 744 friends. I went to one friend that's a really good friend of mine who I know knows a gazillion people. And I went on her friend list, and I started friending everybody that I had mutual friends with her more than 2 mutual friends. Because if you have mutual friends with them, they're just going to say yes. Okay. So I just started, and then Facebook booted me because I did too many. Okay. So I had to stop. But what I found was really interesting. When I started friending people, all of a sudden I started getting a whole bunch more friend requests. I don't know why, because that means I was populating somewhere and people were seeing me. It was a weird thing. So as of today, how many do I have?
At 6:30, you had that 4,826.
So I started yesterday afternoon at like 4 o'clock with 4,744. At 6:30 this morning, I had 4,826, and I looked at that number and I said, "Dang it, it's not 100." So what did I do? I got on there at 6:30. How many do I have now?
4,852.
So I added 140 people in like an hour, basically, was of my time. Okay, so.
Chrissy, are those local, those Atlanta people, Georgia people?
Yes.
Or you just shooting?
No. You want local people who have an opportunity. And I went to one, oh, and by the way, that friend of mine, I only got through like this F's on her page with friends that I added. One person, I was able to add 140 friends. Okay? So go find the people that you know the most people that you may have an opportunity. She and I are involved in a ministry together, and she's involved in the chamber. So I know them from a couple of different, worlds. And so I knew that we were going to have a whole bunch of mutual friends that I wasn't already friends with. And so choose those kinds of people. Make sense? All right. So come on down, ladies. Y'all are in for an awesome treat. Hey, if you're going to get masks, see Rebecca before you leave today with masks, okay? So y'all come on down and let's have a seat.
You guys find a water bottle in here? Yes, it's over on that table.
Oh, thank you. Okay, should I like social distance them?
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
You fall flat
All right,
on
hold
my
on.
face.
So do you need a low chair,
I'll be all right.
little mama?
I'll climb up.
Okay, so, wait, scoot on down. Somebody come on down. Because we're Zooming, we're recording it, and I want to make sure that everybody can see it. So, we have an awesome opportunity today.
You're recording this? Great, thank you.
Yeah. Yes. So how many of you saw the video of the realtor who fell and her dress went up over her head in front of the client? And it's gone viral, and she's laughing. She's telling the story and she's laughing about it, and it is the cutest video because she's laughing hysterically about it, and she is telling the world that how ding dong she is, right? She has gotten more. That thing has gone viral everywhere, and she has gotten more exposure from that goofy thing than she ever has on anything else. So it's okay, right? We don't always have to be pretentious, right? Okay, so Rebecca, will you print me the list of the questions that I sent them? Because I forgot to print that off. All right, so Angela Albert, raise your hand. So Angela has been a realtor for 5 years. She joined our market center as a dual career agent.
Yep.
She was awarded the KW Rising Star her very first year, and she's a member of the Circle of Excellence. So the Rising Star Award is what all you guys are eligible. I know somebody who's now it's going to be their mission. So we better see. So I think it's like in 18 months or something. Isn't that what it is? So they do it over an 18-month period to see who's kind of the rookie of the year, but we don't call it that. We call it the Rising Star. And she has continued to go up in her since she won that. And I love that she said, Angela says becoming a realtor is the most amazing journey and the best decision she's ever made. Being a realtor has allowed me to grow in all areas of my life as a wife, a mother, a friend, and a successful businesswoman. I can hardly remember my past life because my current life is so unbelievably fulfilling. How many of you want to be able to say that this time next year? Okay, so 5 years gives me cold chills. And she said, I'm sorry, you know, I love Jesus, but I cuss a little. She said she gets shit done while living the perfect life by design. You only get one shot at life, make it count. Okay?
I didn't think you were actually going to put that out.
Well, but I love it because I love Jesus and I cuss a little. But I don't cuss as much as these people from these other countries do. And we're going to have a conversation.
And we
about
love
them in a minute.
Jesus too.
Okay. So let me just tell you this. Angela came to this market center from another company. It was a smaller company, I guess. And she didn't really know anybody in this office. Her sponsor was here, who is a mega agent, but she's not in the office all that much. So she came to the office, and Stephanie said to me, Kristen, you need to meet with her because she's really going to chart. And Stephanie, who was our OP, was the team leader at the time. And she said, you need to talk to her about your elite coaching program. And so we met, and she hired me, and she really didn't know anything about me, right? And she hired me to coach her, and she was working her other job, and I'm sure she'll tell you a little bit about that. And I was able to work through, and it was such a blessing to be able to work through that transition with her to go from that position. She was scared to death. Okay, I'm going to tell you, she was scared to death to leave that income. She is, of all the people I've ever coached, she and one other, the one that I told you, the military guy that capped in 6 months, are the most organized, system-oriented, make a plan and stick to it people that I coach. Okay?
Thank you. I didn't know that.
Oh my God. She has workflows for everything. Okay. But we work through, I mean, so she's had to hire an assistant. She's had to leverage. I mean, so she's had a lot of growing pains. And she went away from me for a minute from coaching. And then she realized, wait, I think I better go back to her. Because there is a difference in the way I coach and what you can get from Matt's coaching, because I really do get involved in the marketing pieces and in the
Follow up at 7 p.m. on a Thursday. Did you get the listing? Why didn't you text me? You said you were going to text me.
So it's more of that personal, I am really a part of your team, and I want to be that for all of y'all. Okay, so that's Angela. So Terry Hood, she's down there at the end. She's an Aussie immigrant. She's lived in the United States for 44 years. She spent 35 years in the telecom industry where she led production teams and process development at a very high level, okay? So corporate world. She joined the office in April of 2018, self-described mother, wife, grandmother, and a work in progress. I love that. And she is looking for friends in all the right places. And the reason why we put that up there, don't y'all love that? She didn't say that, we added that. Because when Terry first came on board, and by the way, she's loud, proud, and cusses a lot. I had no idea that these people from other countries, how they speak, okay?
Well, we're not all uptight.
Okay, so that's what she says. And so y'all are gonna love her inflections. But anyway, she came in and she was in Ignite. So she hadn't even really started coaching with me yet. And she said, I'm not doing that social media. I'm not on social media. I'm not doing social media. I'm just not doing social media.
I'd actually deleted my Facebook before coming in, deleted it.
She was not gonna do social media. Have any of y'all come in and felt that way? Be honest. Has anybody come in and said, I'm really not gonna do the social media thing? I'm not on it. Okay. So you see how many people raise their hand. So let me ask you this. Have you had a change of heart, change of mind?
Yes.
And so did somebody keep pushing you and you finally said, okay?
We went at it hammer and tongs
Yeah.
in the Ignite class.
We really did.
We really did. We're going head to head.
How many friends do you have now on Facebook?
500 and something. And this is just from Tuesday because I signed out with 280 or something. She just doesn't, she nags. It's better off you just
Whatever
do it.
works.
Better off you just do it.
Yeah, did y'all see that post I posted, like about the coach, and the person said, you know, how do you, and they're like, just do what your coach said the first time, right? Okay, so she has had to embrace social media and she's done a really good job with it. All right. And so, and she's going to talk to you about her transformation. Now you have this beautiful woman right here. Not that they're all beautiful, but I mean, when I first met her, I said, she's too pretty. I'm not going to like her. I'm just going to tell you, I just had a bad attitude. I've never shared
thought that.
I've never shared. Okay.
They don't look. They think they don't like me. I'm like,
That's right. Well,
Well,
because you're too
fine.
pretty, you can't really do anything about that. And I don't think I've ever shared that with her, but
she hasn't.
But she is so beautiful, and she is beautiful on the inside and out, okay? And she'll tell you a little bit. So she's a working mom with a preschooler and obviously one on the way. And the other thing that I wanted to point out is she was coaching with me. She came to me and she said, I'm thinking about joining the team. I said, don't do it. She said, well, I'm thinking about joining the team. I said, don't do it. I said, tell me why you want to do it. Let's work through the thing. Let's work through the math. Yes, it's a great fit. This team is going to be a great fit. I said, you have too much power and success inside of you to go give away 50% of what you're going to earn. Don't do it. Build your own team. Okay. And so what did she do? She didn't listen to mama and she went on, she joined the team. You didn't know I was going to say all this either, did you?
I can assume so.
Okay. And so, because I'm trying to help them understand, you know, there's all these different things and obstacles, right? And if you are thinking about joining a team, talk to me first so I can help you at least analyze, right? What are the pros and the cons? And teams are great for some people. It's a good fit. I just knew that it wasn't going to be a good fit for her. And then she discovered that later. And so what happened was she had her momentum going. And then when she came back in, it was like she had to start all over again. And she did it much faster the second time around, right? But so let's just have that conversation. So she's 28 years old. She's full-time mom and wife, realtor with an 8-year-old bonus baby, a 3-year-old, and another one on the way. She started in real estate to be able to stay home with her kids. I quickly realized the potential for not only personal growth, but financial growth in real estate. And now I'm full-time and still spending time with my babies. That's where you want to be. Okay. It gives you that freedom if you do the work. She's a 4th generation Cherokee County resident with deep roots in the county, and most of her business is sphere and social media. She does a lot of social media. Okay, so you gotta take advantage of those things. So and Dee, we love Dee, and she is from Ireland. Get your key from Irish Dee. That's her tagline, and she is awesome, and she is very, very, very busy. She is now in the top probably 10% for the office, and she is she is hiring an assistant, but she is in the interview phase right now, and she could not get here. So she had to make a tough choice, right? Sometimes, like, this would be fun for her. So she'd be all about this, right? But she had to make some tough decisions, and sometimes that happens. When we don't get the work done, you don't get to go do the volunteer stuff and the fun stuff, right? You have to prioritize. She's priority managing, right? So, all right, so let's talk. I had sent them a list of questions. So sorry.
Okay.
So what'd you do prior to real estate, everybody?
I was a teacher.
Okay.
I was in school, dentistry, and marketing.
Okay. And did you do anything on the side? Like in the restaurant service industry?
Yes, I bartended for years.
Okay.
I've got pregnancy brain, so
Yeah.
forget it.
Okay. So, all right. Well, we already told you what she did.
Yeah, but I also have a little side gig teaching swimming, so.
Oh, isn't that awesome? All right. So how long have you been in the business?
3 years. 5.
2.5.
Okay. How many transactions did you do the first year? How many did you do last year? Tell us about your business.
The first, because I joined in May, so it's halfway through the year. The first 6 months, I did 2 transactions. The second year, I did 8, and last year, I did 13, and I'm already at 13 this year.
Okay. So wait, what did you say? Repeat that for me.
Which part?
All of it. You did how many?
The first 6 months, I did 2.
Okay. Who heard that? First 6 months, she did 2. Okay. Then what happened?
And that was the same client, so still 2 though. Still 2. Second year I did 8.
Okay. And
Then 13. and I am at 13 now.
Okay, then she took that break and went over to the team
Yes.
and lost some momentum. And now she's already at what she did for the whole year last year.
So you're almost doubling your business every year.
Okay, so, and what is she? Very pregnant with a preschooler and a bonus child and a busy husband and COVID. Okay, so I just want y'all to know that. Okay, so. Okay, but keep going down the line and tell them what your business looks like.
All right, so I guess my first year, is that the first question? My first year in real estate, I did 24 units, 24 closings. Then 36, well, I'm sorry, 24, 30, 36, and this year I'm at 18.
Okay, first year in the business, 0. None. Second year in the business, I have 7, and I'm at that number right now for this year. So, a matter of that.
All right, so the second question is, how long have you been in the business? Is that already?
Yeah, we just did that one. I think we're on number 5, the teacher.
How
And
long
here I
did it-
come.
How long did it take you to cap?
Took me I capped my second year. So not my first year, my second year is when I capped, and I did it the month of my 12 month, and then I've already capped in the first 6 months of my third year.
So it's not that difficult to cap.
No. Oh, and it's
so
after
doable.
and after you cap though, you're like, oh.
Has anybody in
A
here
whole
capped?
new
You
world.
capped? You know that 100% commission, so like, holy cow.
Like, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Holy cow. So let's see, I came over from C21 in February. So my cap starts in February. My first year here, let's see. So I started in February. I capped in June, my first year.
Wow.
My second year, February, I capped in April. And then this year I capped in March.
And then she came back to me. And we go, and have you got your mojo back? So let me, and I want to just time out right there for a second. We talked about this at our last coaching session. Remember I told you she's like the most focused, goal-oriented person I know. And she had some big, big goals, okay? And
Like
she,
bodacious goals.
like
big
big,
ones.
big. That's called a BHAG. Y'all know what BHAGs are? Big, hairy, audacious goals. You need to read the book Good to Great. So that came from there. So she had some BHAGs and she accomplished them. Okay. And then guess what happened? She kind of went in a little pit for a minute because she didn't have that next big goal, right? Remember I told you the 3 most important words of the English language are not I love you, they are I need you, right? She needed a need. She needed to be needed. She needed to be able to contribute and do something else. So, and she bought a new house, she paid off student debt, check. So, and then COVID hit, right? Which also changed everybody's world, right? So now she has had time to reflect and has some additional, even bigger goals than what she had. And I'm guaranteeing you that she will accomplish them, okay? And they have to be written down.
Share them with you.
They have to be written down. Okay, good. Okay, so that's awesome. Keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. All right.
Oh, we were just talking about capping.
Gotcha.
Oh, it's my
Okay, now it's your turn.
last day of the second year. And that was March 31st of this year, and I'm on target to do it again here in a couple of months.
So she will cap twice in this year, okay? So do you see where you get this momentum? You cannot stop, because when you do, or you take a break, or you focus in your working in the business, doing all the busy work and working the buyers and sellers, then, and you can quit doing the lead gen and don't work on the business, then you go and you crash again, right? So it is, you have to have that continual. You have to have that continuum. And so, so they've all had success, but at different levels and different times. And so I wanted y'all to see that, right? Okay, so who does?
Quick question.
Oh, yes. I can't tell with the mask on, right?
Real clarification. Some agents, when they come to me, they don't have an understanding. I don't think I'm able to ever reach that. And I want them to see that
Yes.
it is doable
Absolutely.
if you follow the rules.
Absolutely. And
Right.
everybody has a story and everybody has life that gets in the way. That is never going to change. What has to change is how you handle those things and how you've prepared in advance to handle those things, okay? So those SMART plans we talked about this morning, right? When life happens, you have to be, we keep talking, okay, what's the plan when the baby comes? Right? I want you to take some time off. Oh no, I'll be back probably in 2 weeks. No, you're taking some, and you think that because you forgot how little sleep you get, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, what's the plan? So we have talked about what are the marketing things that are going out when that baby comes so that it's still happening while she's able to take some time, right? So you have to have the plan. So thank you, Carlos, for pointing that out. So tell me like the breakdown buyers versus sellers for you guys.
I'm about 50-50. I'd say actually 60-40 with 60% buyers, 40% sellers.
Okay. How about you?
Me,
Mhm.
same here. I up until this year, I was heavier on buyers than sellers. So I just switched my focus and really focused in on the listing side of things because that is what drives your business. So.
Right. How about you?
I'm about third listings and the rest of buyers, and I'm working on flipping that because it's a lot.
And so, because I keep telling them that, right? Because what I find is that most people, when they come in, they feel like maybe there's a lack of confidence on the listing side or something. I don't know what it is, why that happens. I do know why, because it's your conversations, right? What you focus on expands. Where you spend your time, that is what's going to drop. It's going to bring, whatever you're spending your time on is what's going to bring you the business. If you go into open houses thinking I'm looking for buyers, then that's what you're going to get. If you go into open houses and say I'm going to work this and do this full 7th level, and actually we don't really do 7th levels, we do 6th levels, just so y'all know, technically. But if I'm going to do the full 6th level, I'm getting the opportunity to speak to people who already own homes, and my conversations are focused on them, those homeowners, and I'm trying to get a listing. Then that is what's going to come, okay? So before you start those door knocking for that, you've got to do some script practice around how do I get information from these homeowners, right? How do I talk to them? Okay, so how many are in your data bank? Go, Lauren.
Well, she doesn't want to say in front of Kristen.
About 500.
Okay.
And I started off, never mind.
No, go.
So I have a limiting belief behind my database is I had like 12, I added everybody in my friends list on Facebook in my database. And when I started going through it, when I actually started working it, I would just skip over. I'm like, nope, haven't talked to you since high school. Who are you? Nope. So I deleted pretty much everyone.
And then did you get in trouble?
I got in big trouble. But I didn't get in big trouble instantly because I left and joined a team. So she didn't. So when I came back, I got in big trouble. But I am building that up more and more, and I'm doing it with intention.
Yeah. And so there is a difference in I never want you to delete somebody, ever. Okay, just put them in a different category. So they're going to be touched differently, right? So you will have, and Angel's going to tell you how she breaks hers down. You're going to have this group of people, right, that are your core people that you're really doing that DTD2, and they're doing those pop buys 4 or 5 times a year with them. They're the ones who are going to be invited to the events. Then you're going to have this other group of people who know you from Facebook, because how many times do you go somewhere and somebody says something to you about something that has happened in your life because they saw it on Facebook, but yet they didn't comment about it on Facebook, but then they comment to you in person about it. Does that happen often? People are watching, okay? And they will refer other people to you, and you don't even know them. So why would you not want to have those people in that data bank and get those opportunities, right? So yeah, so we're working on all of that. So all right, tell them about yours.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, could you just explain with intention?
So when I first did it, I added everyone with the YLOPO, whatever it was. They just added all of it into what was e-edge at the time. And when we switched over to command, I try to have everyone's names, phone numbers, emails. If I don't have addresses, I try to find them, but I'm really trying to have all of the information and it be someone that I will speak to and not skip over on my DTD2 because if I give myself an excuse to skip over one person, I know I'll give myself an excuse to skip over 3 or 4 others. And I do not need to do that. I don't need to give myself any room for any excuses.
The people you really want to work with.
Yes, but you can't work
No,
with
but
five
too
hundred,
limited.
and you can't work with 500 people. That's just not gonna happen, right? And so if you have categories, and so I've got, these are the people that get the full-fledged DTD2, okay? And then I have, and that number really should be about 600, the full-fledged DTD2, okay? So 600. Then I'm gonna have all these other people, either that I may have just some data, and I'm social media friends with them, or they're on a direct they're getting the mailings from me, right? Or if I have their emails, they're just gonna get a snap from me, kind of thing. But she's saying these people are people that she is really gonna focus on, and she wants all of their contact data, right? All right, yes, ma'am, tell them about you.
So I have about 1,700 total in my database. Of that, like 482-ish are my LCs or 36 touch or DTD2, whatever you want to call
What's
it.
LC stand for?
What?
What does LC stand for?
In my world? I don't,
Well, you said you have them that are your top people. What do you call them?
my LCs,
Okay, what does that mean?
level C for me. So I have,
That's where I'm going.
Okay.
Explain to them.
Sorry.
What you mean. Yeah.
so I have 4 levels. So I have an LA, an LB, an LC, and an LD. So when I first meet you, whether it be at an open house or if I door knocked or if you've called me on a sign call, whenever we talk for the first time, I put you in my system as an LA, and that's when I do the 8x8. If they have not signed a listing or a BBA with me I typically do mine 8x8 over like a 10 or 11 week period. If they haven't signed with me at the end of that, I move them into what I call an LB, and it's really an 8x8 extension, right? And so
Do y'all know what an 8x8 is?
Yes.
Okay. Make sure.
And so on that, I touch them for another 10, 11 weeks-ish. I'm updating it, which is why I can't tell you exactly. And then if they don't sign with me at the end of that LB in some way, shape, or form, I put them to LD, which is a dead lead. I've tried for 20 plus weeks to get your business.
But
There's
y'all
something
hear
not driving.
20 plus weeks before she moves them.
And then, if I do get a signed listing or BBA, then they go to my LC, which is 36 touch.
Okay, so did y'all figure, so when I told y'all she was the most organized workflow, do y'all hear what she's saying?
Yes, I love
Holy cow. It's okay. So, the more you can become that and have things move at a flow like that, right? The more streamlined you are, the less time it all takes, right? So that's the benefit for being that organized. But don't feel like that's her personality,
Yeah.
right? And so, but don't want you to feel like I got to go create all that stuff right now, right? We want to get them all on a smart plan. Follow the DTD2, right? That is your roadmap to success. Okay, do you follow DTD2?
Yes.
Do you follow DTD2?
Yes.
Do you follow DTD2? Okay, so any questions so far? Okay, so Miss Terry, tell them about yours. You see her roll her eyes at me. I love these people.
1,800, about 600 would be the LC thing. Really just getting it organized. I mean,
How important is it though? I harp on it, right? But how important is it, guys?
it's vital because
It's
once I
vital.
started getting all this going, I picked up 4 clients this month. So, it is vital.
Well,
Resistance is futile. Any Trekkies in here?
Any Trekkies? I love
No,
these
seriously, I have a picture of the bold queen, how her hair goes out, and it's all colored red, and it says resistance is futile. So when I'm trying not to do something I know I need to do, I just turn around and look at it and go, I do not want to have to face that when I go into my next coaching session.
Because I am the lady with her hair on fire, right?
Yes, exactly.
And I think it's hard to remember too when you're a newer agent. You're like, oh, I got this. When you're working with 1 or 2 or 3 clients, but you do get to the point that you're like, holy crap, you can't even remember their last name, let alone the address they closed on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's more, we're gonna get better off your gonna be right.
Okay, so let's see, what else did I say? And you kind of already answered, but how long did it take you to get there? And are you purposefully adding to your database every single week, even now, all these years later?
Oh, yes. My goal is 5 a day, 25 a week.
Did y'all hear that? 5 a day, 25 a week. Okay, so right now, y'all are in the mode where you're supposed to be doing 10 a day. Okay, 5 days a week, so 50 a week. All right. How much time do you spend on social media, and what does that look like?
So I spend about an hour a day on social media. And I will go ahead and tell you, I'm very social media based. I would say probably 60% of my business, if not more, comes from Facebook alone, from people that I know that have just started reaching out, and people I've reached out to.
Okay, so let me just say this. It is not just the social media, because you can build a business doing that, but you have to also incorporate the other things, the DTD2, which are the calls, the texts, the Facebook messages, the Popeyes, right? The mailing. So social media is like the thing that brings it all together.
I think social media for me, it is an easier way for these people that I've been talking to, doing mailing and calling, texting. It's an easier way for them to feel comfortable to communicate with me. So just, I started slacking on social media a lot. And just 2 weeks ago, I started being purposeful with my social media.
Okay, what does that look like? When you say purposeful,
I
let me ask Tina's question, because she's gonna ask, what does purposeful mean?
I post about real estate.
So give us some examples. Everybody should go friend her, copy what she does. Okay, what is?
Probably will add you, but that's fine.
Yeah, because she doesn't want all these realtors on there.
I don't. I unfriend her, unfollow.
Guess what? You can hide your friends.
Oh, I hide all of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got
I had all
realtors
of
off in
them.
a whole nother call.
And the
Right.
reason why they're saying that is because what happens is because the realtors are gonna be the ones who are gonna make the comments, and then those end up being the ones who are the only people who now see
I
your
will
post,
see every
because you
KW
see all of
agent
their,
ever.
because you've engaged with them. So you have to be real careful not to do that,
My
right?
social media, honestly, is for real estate.
How many friends do you have on social media?
1,300, somewhere around there. I mean, it's for real estate. I post my kid and other things when I can, because I have to mix it up, but it's for real estate. I have a terrible millennial.
Question, do you have a business page and a regular
Yes,
page?
absolutely.
Which one do you use more?
I would say equally. I post all my business stuff on my business page, and my personal page, I will share stuff from my business page, but I don't share it all the time. And you have to have a business page to be able to boost stuff, to be able to promote it. So I have to have a business page.
How often do you boost stuff, or do you run Facebook
Weekly.
ads, or do you run ads at all?
Yes. And I need to do more than weekly.
What's the most responsive ad that you ran?
I would say listings.
Yeah.
Just promoting a listing. And I mean, it's cheap. It's so cheap.
And she does cute little things on her stories. Like, I don't even get all that, right?
I don't get it either.
And I want,
but
because
people
you
look
can
at
do this,
them.
you can do this animated stuff on your stories. However, I don't want you just to do stories. I think I had said that to you, because those only last for 24 hours. And if somebody then goes back to your page, all that stuff isn't going to be there. So you have to be you want to be balanced with all of that.
So I post all real estate, like listings, buyers, or like home tips, things like that on my business page. Then on my regular page, I'll post, like, I posted an ultrasound picture last night.
And it's
That's
so cute.
It is cute. But, and then I'll post housing stuff. I'm wanting to post at least one a day with something of real estate. And then on my story, I can post 2 and 3 and 4 times a day, because it's not getting, in my opinion, this could be a limiting belief, I don't feel posting 3 and 4 and 5 things a day on my timeline.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I feel like people will just go unfollow or whatever.
Yes, I agree
So if I
with
put
that.
it on my story,
You
they
can do.
they could just swipe away if they don't want to see it.
Right.
But if it's on my timeline versus my business page,
And she did a lot of videos kind of early on, and she kind of got away from the videos. So we got to get back to the videos
after I had this baby.
because people, I know, but that's not true. People love you. Remember I told you the lady that had her thing over her skirt over her head, right?
I
That
hate
got,
hear- I
that
hate
got
hearing
the
my
attention.
voice.
Got more,
No,
she
my
got more.
videos got, she's 100% correct. Videos get so much more attention just from, I mean,
And the lives especially.
And
people
Ter-
were
Terry
asking-
doesn't do enough of them because people want to hear her voice, right?
Yeah.
Right? We know that. Okay, and so I get on her too about that. All right, so how about you and your social media?
Well, I just switched up my calendar, so I do 2 hours on Thursday with social media, and that's where I'm going through and adding the friends per Kristen and commenting on people's on stuff. And then in the evenings, I might browse here and there, but I pretty much stick to my calendar.
She does videos too, though.
I do open
and-
house videos, live videos.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and videos with her kids. People want, remember, it still is a social site.
Yeah.
People want to see that stuff. That's how they connect with you.
I love those live videos.
They do.
They love them.
I'll have like my kid holding an open house sign doing like a boomerang or something. So I incorporate my family into like, it's not just real estate, but hey.
So now we're thinking about what's the marketing gonna be around the new baby, right? She's gonna be outdoor knocking with the kid, we tried to do it with a wagon, right?
My
And then but her 3-year-old's like my grandson and he's wild, so that was not gonna work,
right,
right?
duct tape him in there.
But market where you already spend your time and use the resources that you already have and the relationships you already have, right? Yes, ma'am.
When you do the live stream for the open house, is the entire open house or you just 10 minutes?
No, so my lender partner, I always have him with me when we do open houses. A, it's safe, and B, you got a lot of unrepresented buyers, right? So we start at the front of the house and we make it quirky and fun. If you pop on my Facebook, I mean, you'll see some that we're picking at each other, but we start at the front of the house, we give the address, we introduce ourselves. I do a tour through the house, point out things that I think are cool. And then, encourage people to ask questions, and that's it. So it's usually, I don't know, 5 minutes
Or less.
or less.
Right.
And you say your lenders with you
Always.
And when you're doing videos, if it's not for an open house and it's something real specific like that, those videos literally should be less than 30 seconds.
Like a
Okay.
minute, yeah.
I mean, just super quick.
And I think you should have a schedule for Facebook. Like, I don't know if you have a schedule, but I very much am a believer in schedules. So like I have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I know exactly what I'm going to post. And, so it's, for me, it's the consistency.
And you can, on your business page, you can go ahead and schedule those. So I tell you, I want you to schedule that for the whole month, right?
So, and 6 p.m. on Wednesday is really popular, by the way. 6
Yes.
p.m. on Wednesday.
And so
like
anytime
10 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
time?
Like 10 a.m. on a Tuesday.
And 6 p.m. on a
It's-
Wednesday.
and
You can actually, sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
You can Google
What are the best times?
what are the best times.
I
for
actually
social
have
media.
that, Rebecca, in
I mean-
something. So let's post that.
Yeah.
So it was in a smart plan that we were gonna add, that has that. And I have just found for me personally, it's like the first thing in the morning, people hop on and then they'll hop on again, like at the end of the day kind of thing. And so that's when, and I don't know if y'all have noticed on our page, a lot of the stuff that I'm posting on our page, I have scheduled, just so y'all know, right? I sit down and do several at a time.
And see, for me, I find people like in the middle of the afternoon. 'Cause I don't get on in the evening.
And
I
that's
get
just kids. Okay, so you gotta think
I get
too, like, who is your market, right? And so she has a lot of other friends that have smaller kids, right? So they're not on there at bath time and dinner time, right? So be cognizant of that. All right, so how about you?
I'm spending a lot more time than I probably should, but I hit Facebook personal page, business page, Instagram, and my LinkedIn.
Okay, so do all of you have a plan around, and are you all posting on LinkedIn?
I am now.
Mhm. Okay.
And next door.
And next door. Mhm. So, and who, why did you wear it? Why? What changed?
It was always on my calendar, but I didn't understand LinkedIn, so it was more difficult for me personally to go in there and post something that I didn't understand.
Hey, Brandy, could you do an actual LinkedIn class?
I do it on Wednesdays.
Okay, so,
Actually, it's this coming this week.
oh, imagine that.
I may be there then.
Wednesday.
Get it.
Imagine that.
Well, and you hit a whole different sphere of people
That's right.
on LinkedIn, and Google Business is another one. Like for me, I don't even know how many listings I've had over the years where people have said, holy cow, I know exactly when you get a new listing. I know when you have an open house. I know when you go under contract. I know when you closed. You market the mess out of these houses, and I've had people say that to me, and it's part of my workflow.
So you don't,
Yeah.
so the
Mine,
point is don't just be just Facebook, right? So if I'm doing an open house, I want to put it on across the board, because some people are on Instagram only. There's a certain demographic and age group of people that are just on Instagram, right? My daughter hardly ever gets on Facebook. She's Instagram everything, right?
There's a lot of most of I feel the younger generation's Instagram. Again,
And-
terrible millennial. I'm not, but
She is.
I'm getting better.
Okay, and same thing with LinkedIn. And I find that with LinkedIn, you want to be a little bit more focused around stats. So all those stats that I keep saying, y'all should be posting these every month. You should be posting some stats every month, right? If you're talking about a plan, and the career seminars on LinkedIn, right?
And you
So-
can do a LinkedIn business page. For
And
those
ju-
of you that didn't know that.
I didn't know that,
You
so
should have
do a
both.
LinkedIn business page, okay? So, but again, all of this does not negate the one-on-one conversations. It is an in addition to, okay? So if you're gonna start somewhere, start with Facebook. Would you agree? Okay, so,
I will say Instagram, you can go and post on it and it'll post to your Instagram and Facebook. So
Right.
you don't have to go and do both of them.
and if you use Photify, right? And I told all y'all about this in orientation. It's on your homework sheets in orientation. You go to the NAR.org/Photify, PHOTOFY. It is you have to register, and it's free because you're an NAR member. And then you'll download the app. You can create and schedule there, and it will send to Twitter, to blah, blah, blah. It'll send to all of them. Okay? So you can schedule from there, and it goes to all the sites.
You say that's NAR?
NAR, so the National Association of Realtors.org/Photify. Okay? And there's gazillions of templates on there. So how much time do you spend on lead generation each day? And what does that look like?
I spend 1 hour a day in the mornings on contacting new people or people I haven't contacted. And then I spend another hour after that on following up with people that I have contacted the week before or
clients,
yes.
right? Okay, so there's a difference, right? So we've got lead generation is not the same as lead follow-up.
I'll say I do my first and 10 before any of that. The people that my clients or calls I need to get done that day, I get in the office and then I just knock them out. I do them first thing. Otherwise, I'm on the phone with lead gen. And I'm like, oh, I really need to call Jane about this, and I'm distracted. So I get to the office, I do my first and 10, and then I'll do my lead gen.
Did y'all hear what she said?
What's the first and 10?
Good question. I was waiting on somebody.
I don't even know what it really stands for, but it's my first. The day prior to, I will write the things that I need to do first.
The most important.
The most important in the
It's her
morning.
highest priority.
Yes, like I need to call this client about this, or I need to call this builder about this. These things have to be done on
And she
Wednesday.
knows she's gonna get distracted.
Yes.
And isn't gonna be fully engaged.
It's gonna take my brain space away, and I have to get them done. Otherwise, when I'm talking to, Sue over here on the phone, and she's doing this, and I'm over here thinking about something else. Oh. So.
All right, how about you?
On Monday, I do lead follow-up with people I met the prior weekend at open houses or housewarming parties or whatever. On Tuesday, it's my DTD2. On Wednesday, for sale by owner calls. Thursday is Facebook, and also networking times 2 groups. And then Friday is whatever I didn't get done. 2 hours a day.
2 hours a day. All right, Terry.
It's probably about the same, it'd be 2 hours a day, because I'm doing the social media, trying to pull in some of the others. But also, Misty had said something to me a couple of years ago that really stuck with me, I think, and really helped me get.
Misty, meaning your coach, Misty.
Yeah. Out there, she said she does not go to bed until she's made at least her 10, because most of my contacts are in the business world. So, and especially now that, when they were all home, it was so easy, and I was making deals in COVID and capped in COVID because of it. But now they're all back in their offices. So some of mine have to come in the evening. And there's a special time in the evening when you want to talk to executives or people in management or even those that are in production groups. You know, they want to get home, they want to decompress, they want to eat dinner. And, 7:30 is a good time to really say, hey, how you doing? How's it been since you've been back in the office? Is it crazy? Are they going to let you work from home more often now? Things like that. So, yeah, I just don't go to bed until I have at least 10 or I finish my DTD2. So,
Okay, are y'all learning something? Who's got a question? Okay, so I had on here, what does your personal schedule look like? Do you have anything else that you want to add to, like, about that? Like, what is your schedule other than the lead gen? What does it look like? How many hours are you working? Is it over a 7-day period? Do you try to do it in 4 days? And what does it look like for you?
My schedule, it depends weekly. I try to be here in the office at least 4 days. And like Kristen's always told me, do business where you are. So on Wednesdays and Saturdays, my kid has baseball practice. So I'm wearing real estate stuff there, or I'll purposely post before there, like the day before or something, in engaging in those people so they see my stuff. And
she's having conversations with those people while she's there.
Yes, and people ask me all the time, like, just real estate questions, where I'm at, so it's just do business where you are. Where, for me, my kids are my number one. So I'm not going to be missing out on baseball or anything that they're doing. I'm going to be there, but I'm making it purposeful contacts and conversations around that there.
Yeah, it's awesome. How about you?
I'm very schedule oriented. So, I've got time blocked my lead gen in the morning, checking emails in the afternoon. I've got family time on my calendar because I am not like that. And I would work 24/7. Not that I don't love my kids and husband, but I am kind of addicted to working and making money. So I've time blocked even family time on my calendar. And
I tell you to do. Have you heard me say that?
Yes.
And I do time
and
block
the
on
goof
Sunday.
off time. Time block it.
And I time block on Sunday. Like I try not to work Sunday.
Awesome. But did you in the beginning?
Oh yes, and I am now to make up for my little hiatus that I took.
Okay. All right, how about you?
Mine's a little messy because I have mostly buyers, so I have to adapt all the time. And I'd like to get out of having to do that. Like Angela, I just won't stop my day until I've done everything that I need to do for the day, which means my husband is getting ready to divorce me probably. I mean, my office is at home. Yeah, it's
I don't know, he might want to. I don't know.
he has his own business. As a matter of fact, he was keeping me up all night because he had an outage that just for Georgia Lottery that just wouldn't stop. So you can imagine people were trying to do their lottery tickets and he had a big outage going on. So I got to say, told you so, and walked out this morning. But this is where buyers, if you have, and of course you're going to go where the money is, right? If the buyer's got, you're going to go with the buyers. But I still need more listings because it does give you more time to manage your business. But one of the current buyers I've known for years, worked with her at Sprint, and we're in Mableton, Powder Springs, Lithia Springs. So if anybody has anything coming up there, I need a 4-bedroom with a basement, doesn't have to be finished. Anything? No? Mableton, Powder Springs, Lithia Springs. They're even talking about going to Douglasville now because
you can't find them anything.
You can't find anything. And that
I got one coming in Douglasville all day long. 220.
Will you be taking multiple offers?
Nope, it's your sister's house.
Oh, really? So
Yes,
would you like to do it before
Okay, great. Y'all do that. I love how that works out.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Sorry.
No.
All right, so do you do events? And what does that look like? No. Okay?
I do.
She should be. Okay, we've talked about this and that will come. Okay, go ahead.
I do housewarming parties.
So can you tell them a little bit about that? Because we were coaching together when she was devising and all of this. So I went through all of this with her, and I'm sure that it has continued to morph since then.
It has, although it's not as popular as it used to be. A lot of people just are not interested in a housewarming party, believe it or not. But yeah, the housewarming parties are great. I do up to 25 people. It doesn't matter the price point, $50,000 mobile home, $500,000 home, I don't care.
So how does it work?
Like my whole workflow.
Well, kinda, yeah, go quick.
So
I
they
just
can invite up
invited.
to 25 people. My lender partner pays for the food. We either cater in Moe's or we do Jersey Mike's.
And we've learned that if 25 people are coming, how many do you order for?
Probably 12, 13,
Okay.
which is amazing, by the way.
And-
I do cute little express docs like invitations. You're invited and the housewarming date and
So-
time.
Time out. They give her the list, then she does the invitation. So now what does she have the opportunity to do with those names and?
They all go in my database.
So they're all going into her data bank, and now she's gonna be at this open house and get to be able to meet them, right? Build a relationship and friend them on Facebook and, right? And send a follow-up note. So all of that, that's why events are really great, because
Yeah.
you start marketing those things and it gives you an opportunity to touch them in multiple forms,
Yeah.
right? Multiple times,
Yeah.
before, during, and after. Iman, she did one and I was like, do this, this, and this, right? And does it make a difference? Yes, okay. So anything else about the open house you want to specifically
About
say?
the housewarming
I
party?
mean, housewarming party, yeah.
A really nice touch when you leave the housewarming party, like the first stop sign that you get to, shoot a quick text to the sellers, or the buyers, or whoever you're, probably buyers that you're working with, and just say, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to host this. It was really great meeting your friends and family.
And you only stay an hour, right?
I stay an hour and a half.
Okay,
I
and she
wish you
tells them
many
that.
years. Yeah, I wish you many years of happiness in your new home. And then undoubtedly they're saying, oh my gosh, my agent, not only did she do this, she just sent me this text, blah, 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 blah. I usually get one deal per housewarming party.
And some people like it because you're paying to bring in their friends, you're paying for the food.
They don't pay for anything unless they go over the 25 guest list.
So they like it because they're getting like a free
Correct.
party.
A couple of key points, you need to do it within 60 days of closing, otherwise people don't come, and they have to have a minimum of 5 people for me to host it.
And no alcohol.
I don't pay for alcohol. They can have it. I just
Yeah,
don't
they
pay
can
for
have
it.
it, but you shouldn't pay for it.
Yeah.
Because it leaves you wide, open wide.
Okay, so how about you? Events?
No, I know, we're working on it.
We're working on it. We're working on it. We're gonna do one because,
Well, and then COVID hit.
and I know.
I don't know. I just had my ice cream social last Saturday.
I
and had
think 20,
25 people.
Oh, yeah.
come.
So, yeah, because we've been talking
I
about
know,
this.
right?
So tell them about that.
The ice cream social.
Yes,
This is our second annual,
People are
and
probably dying to get out of their
they were.
house and do
That's what
something.
everybody said. I had 25 people come, and
Okay, wait, back up. How many people did you invite?
I invited all 480 whatever of my LCs. My
Okay,
36
and
types.
25 people showed up, okay?
25 people showed up.
So invites everybody because they're not all gonna show up, and if they do, it's okay,
Yeah.
okay?
Your lender partner pays for it, or mine does. And I got so many text messages the next day because a lot of us ended up going out to dinner together afterwards. Like there was 10 or 15 of us that went to dinner.
So
in
tell them,
downtown
how did you
Woodstock.
invite them?
Well, that's a very long workflow.
Okay, but you did videos?
I
you
did a
so,
video, text, I did an email. I usually do a paper invitation. I did not do that
In the
this time.
video text, what, did you do anything funny?
Yeah, I had a Ben and Jerry's pint of ice cream and was eating it and then ate the whole damn thing.
I would have too.
Oh my gosh. And so I just sent that out to everybody.
And so it was Ben and Jerry, so tell them how
So we
you
had a Ben and
organized it.
Jerry's truck come and we had a tent set up and we had cornhole and a couple like
And
little
you did it
frisbee
here in the
games.
parking
We
lot.
did it in the parking lot.
And how much
reserved
did it, how much does it cost? I know the lender paid for it, but how much?
think it
Because right
cost
now, they don't have a lender that they've given business to that's probably gonna wanna pay for that kind of stuff
Yeah.
up front, but they might could get a couple of people to come, to give a little bit, right, to cover it. Okay, so
Yeah.
how much was it?
Well, and you don't have to hire Ben and Jerry's. You could go get the little ice cream bucket things at Walmart for like $5 and keep them in a cooler of ice.
Okay,
But it was like $480.
$480.
And then we had a cooler of ice and that's it. I mean, ice and bottled water.
And now, is there anything you're gonna do afterwards?
I've already sent the thank you notes to those that came, and then my DTD2 calls for the rest of this month is going to be, I'm so sorry you didn't make it, our pie event.
For the whole month, she already knows what it is. And then did you hear what she said? Our next event is when?
November, our pie event.
Okay, so if that's a reason to call, right? If you're looking for those reasons, do you always generate business off of those
Yes.
events? Yes, yes. Okay,
In fact, the Ben and Jerry's guy is looking to buy a house.
it's awesome. Okay, best system to implement, most important thing for a new agent to do in their first year. Who wants to go?
just follow the system. Had I followed the system earlier and not been resistant,
What system do you mean?
your system,
No, but
do what
let's,
she tells you to do.
okay, I love that. I did pay her, I promise.
Yeah, I mean, and you can devise your own system, but basically devise it with what she's telling you to do. Had I done that, and from doing process and everything, I thought, I know process, I'll come up with my own process. I'll be Angela, whatever. I am so far from that, it's just ridiculous. But you know what? I'm happy with that.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, don't reinvent the wheel.
Eric Keller says you do not get to be creative until you are at a point where your business leads are constantly flowing into you.
And just remember, there's really no better mousetrap than the mousetrap, right?
Right.
So if you can't make a better mousetrap, I'm just telling you, don't be resistant as I was. I was very resistant to it. And plus I came from a business side, not from sales at all. I've never done sales. I despise salespeople because I had to support them. Sandbagging orders till the last day of the month. And I've got a team there working through, you know, got to get everything in by midnight, all of that. And who's calling going, hey, I'll buy your team pizza if you get my order in first. And it's just like, yeah, F you. We don't care about your pizza. I've already gotten pizza. You know, that kind of, so I had to have a paradigm shift, my whole self, mentally, physically, and everything. But I really wanted to do this too. I really wanted it because I have no one depending on me anymore. No one. There are no kids. They're all grown. All the grandkids are there, but you know what? They're your kids, and I love them. But
so she wanted this for herself.
Exactly. This is my thing. This is what I actually made this choice.
I love
So it wasn't, you know, like
I love that.
going working telecom because it was good money.
And I
was a
think, and
single
she
mother
thought
and,
she
you
could
know.
come in and just kind of do it how she wanted.
Yes, exactly. I did.
And you can once, and it didn't really work, right? Or not to the same degree in which it does once you embrace it. But that gives her now the freedom to do it how she wants, right? So it's like it's the outflow of following the systems. Now she can make some adjustments and do it as she wants.
And I couldn't wait to get out of PC. Could not wait. I thought when Ignite was over, I was done. And she comes up to me and Dee and somebody else from South America and says, "Oh no, I'm putting you into a competition now. I won't tell you the words that actually did come out of my mouth when she said that."
She thought I was nuts.
I did. Well, yeah, and there was a little bit of cussing. So I didn't. Once I was out of PC, I was happy to be out of it, and I'm going to go do my thing, and I'm going to do it my way. And it's an arrogance. It's a big arrogance. Huge. So I went up to her and said, "Will you please coach me?" And, because Kristen doesn't have to do that. She can turn you down if she doesn't feel like you're dedicated. I mean, why waste her time? Why waste yours? And
I promise that I did not, this is not scripted. I did not tell her to say that. And I do appreciate it, but it's just about the accountability. It's not me. I'm not the magic wand.
Right.
Okay?
She is my accountability person.
It is about the accountability. Okay. That is what really is so critical. Okay. So how about you and you, what would you do? What's the most important thing? Best system.
I would agree. Just making the contacts, working the systems. If you don't put yourself out there, no one's gonna know that you're in real estate. People aren't gonna reach out. If you put yourself out there, people are looking. They're listening. They may not say anything, but they are, and they will reach out to you. I remember my 2-year mark, something about it. People just started flooding in just out of nowhere.
Because you had done all of the work to build it up.
Because people were watching over the years.
And they want to see, can I trust her?
Yes. And they felt that they had a trust in me. And I'm the opposite of Terry. When my PC ended, I extended it a year. So I was in PC for 2 years because Kristen had came here, I think it was like April?
Yeah, something.
And my everything stopped in May for me, and I was like, hold on, wait,
that was when I went to Savannah and started the program in Savannah, and then I came back. Stepped away.
She's here, so I extended my PC for another year because, I mean, what she said works. I mean, if you just listen, and if I just listen, it works.
Yeah, and we're all that way, right? Okay, so how about you? Best system.
My answer is a little bit different. I highly recommend finding a mentor or a good coach if you are ready to start spending the money one or the other. My mentor is Rachel Davenport, although she does not claim me.
She is her sponsor as well.
And she's so she was with me at C21, and I just found that if you align yourself, that is super align yourself with someone that's super successful in the business and knows what the heck they're talking about. If you can't afford coaching, that's what I would recommend. If it weren't for Rachel's mentorship, I don't know that I would be here today.
So you have, and the great thing is that you have the opportunity to tap in to multiple sources, right? Because of the philosophy and the way Keller Williams was built.
Well, because we can't see what's right in front of our face.
Yeah.
I mean, even coaching with you, like I'm having all these aha moments with Kristen that's like, that's so simple. And that's what you pay a good coach to do, is to put that mirror up and make you see it. So to me, that's the best step, is mentor and or coaching if you can afford it.
I will say one more thing. My first 6 months when I did the 2 deals, 1 person, I was never in the office. And after that, I started getting more involved in the office. And not only did I have a financial change, I had a complete mind shift change. The way that I looked at what I was doing, why I was doing it, and my potential, what I could do, completely changed. I was never, ever the person that had big dreams, big goals. I had a house and food and I was happy. I'm a very, very happy individual with no matter what. But I realized it was bold. I realized the potential of what real estate could be for me. My kid got put in daycare 5 days a week. And I came into the office. I started coming to team meeting. I came to any class there was. Being in the office and having real estate around you 24/7 and listening to the people that are much smarter than I am, it puts you in the mindset and it gets you going it keeps your momentum going. If you're just sitting at home, like trying to do your, lead gen, get in the office.
Because we are the culmination of the 5 people we spend our time with.
Yes, absolutely. And we're bold laws. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. And it 100%.
Y'all heard us all refer to bold laws all the time. So when, and bold, when you can do it in person, you absolutely need to do it in person. And Iman, you're in Bold Pivot right now, which is an online thing. So, but you're hearing them all say they continue to invest in their personal growth and development.
Don't get too big for your britches.
Mm-hmm. I still do stuff and have a coach. Yes.
I just want to add something, because I was just talking to Michael Stokes downstairs about personal growth, and we were talking about Mega Camp. And he was asking me, he said to me, you're gonna have to convince me to do Mega Camp. I need you to talk me into it. And so, this is what I said to him. I said, do you guys believe success leaves clues? Like, we say that success leaves clues. If you look at the registration list for Mega Camp and you see the names of the people who have set aside 3 days of their time, and these people are making 6 figures. So imagine what an hour of their time is worth. If they've allotted 3 days to invest in Mega Camp, wouldn't that mean that that's a value of time? And
when you just heard all of these people talk about, that they have to continue to learn and grow, and having the opportunity to be with those people from the office because all the mega agents, all the top agents in the office are going to be attending, and we are going to have some group stuff where you will have an opportunity to meet these people and network with them. Okay, whether it's in a big environment or we do breakout house and people have people in homes. I mean, it's gonna happen. So yeah, I can't even, and we will not have coaching during Mega Camp. Okay, so I mean, because I will be in attendance, right? I continue to do those things as well. So
I will say,
go ahead.
I have never been to Mega Camp because I'm a psycho and I don't want to leave my kids. I just don't. And this time is going to be my first time ever being able to attend a Mega Camp because it's here and I am so excited.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it. So excited.
Okay, so let me ask you the most important thing to avoid in your first year.
By yourself.
I know mine.
Go.
Limiting beliefs. Creating a story around why someone doesn't want to talk to you or why they don't want to do business with you. You don't know that. I don't know that. I worry about what people think of me 24/7. I hate being up here talking to all of you. I do not like being in front of people. but I know for me, I create a story of why you don't want to talk to me, why, what you're thinking of me. Get it out of your head. They do.
And what happens most of the time if you got that in your head and you make the call and then they're so happy to talk to you? They're like, I can't believe, every time it gives you a shift, doesn't it?
Oh, I would just be like, it was Capper Bold last year. The first day they're telling us to make calls. I'm like, I haven't called this client in like a year and a half, whatever. Her dad was looking to buy a house in the next year. I called him that day, ended up putting a contract on the house the next week, closing 2 weeks later than that. I'm like, oh.
From the call she didn't want to make. Because she felt, she was embarrassed that she had not connected with them in a long time. Okay, take that out. That's your story.
You're creating
that
a story
their story.
Yes.
Right? That's not their story. They're thrilled just to hear from you that you thought about them. Okay? So what not to do?
Don't avoid being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get comfortable being uncomfortable, you are growing. And I would also say those of us that I didn't have this luxury, but some people are full-time real estate right off the bat, don't get slack. Like you really need to create your schedule and just stick.
Run your business as a business.
Yeah.
You are a business owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
But get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Would you hire yourself?
So let me ask you this. Have you seen people coming in, thinking back to when you were here, or people that were in with you when they first came in, spending a lot of time doing the stuff and never doing the business?
Yes.
And not actually making the contacts?
And hiring assistants and this, that, and the other, and next thing you know, they crash and burn.
And they're gone.
I mean, I saw people making calls 24/7, but they never made purposeful. They never asked about real estate, and they're like, why am I not doing this? Why am I not?
That's the other reason.
Real estate.
Right. That's the other reason there's a value for you to track your numbers, right? I'm not just doing it just because I have to report them. I want you to know if I make this many calls or have this many contacts, then they're going to convert this many times. Like you're creating your own business stats, okay? And so it's a numbers game. So then you come up with your personal number. I know I've got to make this many calls, and then it should generate this much business. Make sense? And if you're making a lot of contacts and no business is coming in, then what is it usually what is the reason? And what should you do? It's your scripts. Okay, so then you got to practice, right? Which is why, again, I like to see that, because if I keep seeing you're making a whole bunch of calls, or you're making a whole bunch of contacts, and nothing is coming, then that says to me, this is what we need to work on, or I need to point you in the right direction, or I'm going to stay on you to have a script partner. Do you script practice?
I was doing it 5 days a week. I can't find anybody to stick to it, but yeah.
How long have you been in the business?
5 years.
Okay, and she's doing still script practicing 5 days a week. Y'all hear what she's saying?
8 to 8:30. Yep.
Because scripts change when times change, right? Or all of our scripts change when COVID hit. They're kind of different now too,
And
right?
you should do that. One thing that I learned through coaching is like doing it with a variety of people. So like I did have 1 day a week with like newer agents. So if anybody's looking to script practice, because you guys are learning things that I'm not, so get me on your
Rebecca
calendar.
raised her hand first.
And then I also went after the Bob Wolfs and the Rachel Davenports, who are super, super busy. And let me tell you, I got on the phone with Bob Wolf and I went to give my script and he was like, he cut me off 15 seconds in, said, try it again. I did 30 seconds. The third time he said, I'm going to do it. We're going to hang up and try this again next week. So it was like,
Bob Wolf is like me. That's who I was talking to you about yesterday.
it was unbelievable. But guess what? I learned how to do follow-up script calls.
And then
from an
listen,
open house.
they didn't talk. They weren't chit-chatting, okay?
No.
Scripting is you pick up the phone and you immediately give them a topic or you give them an
right into
objection
it.
and you go right into it, okay? You do not, how are you? How was your day? How are your kids? It is, the other agent said they do it for 5% commission, sell my house for 5%. What will you do? Okay, and then then they need to give you that objection handler, right? Yes.
Last night I was doing calls because I'm from Philadelphia. I've only been here a year. So I was thinking, I'm not gonna call my Philadelphia people because they're not here what's the use. But I said, I'm gonna call anyway. So I started calling and found out 2 of them are moving to Georgia.
Well, I'll be daggum.
And
And guess what?
I was
Everybody in
like, wow.
Philadelphia knows somebody that lives in this area as well, that they can connect you with.
I was so shocked.
So you need to say to those people who are out of state, who do you know that's here that you can connect me with? Because I'll be nice to them, right? I'll take care of them, right?
Good job.
Good
my,
job.
My family lives in South Dakota, and I like they're on my DTD too. Like I call my sister and say, "How are your friends doing? You're 25. You know, we have conversations, and remember, I can refer you to a stellar agent." And I mean, yeah, make those calls.
Okay, so what's your goal? How much money are you gonna make this year? What were your goals?
My goals were 33 transactions.
Okay, how much money are we making?
It was 180,000.
Okay, how on
This year?
track are you? We're giving
About
her a buy because she
50%.
has pregnancy brain. And some people have tweaked their goals better, higher and lower, both ways because of COVID. Isn't that interesting?
Well, COVID and baby and things have just changed a little bit.
So my business is down. I think you wanted last year's numbers and
Yep.
this year's numbers. So last year I did 36 transactions and did 255 in GCI. This year my business is down 43%. And the reason for that is open houses just all but came to a halt. That was a huge part of lead.
Okay, remember, she's 5 years in the business and she still does open houses and she does them almost to the 7th level, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna say 7th level. The 7th level is the piece that we don't do, is where you're having multiple open houses at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's really the one, and you could do that, but most of the time. So I'm still gonna call 7th level, which means you're doing every other step, and she does all the steps. Still.
And then the other big part of my business comes from networking. I'm in Power Core and I go to a few other networking groups in and around Cherokee and Ball Grounds. So those have taken a hit. So
Because
last
they
year,
weren't meeting and they weren't, right, people aren't out networking.
So last year, 255. This year I should hit 200.
Okay, and are things though ramping back up?
Oh, yes, now that I've got my new goals in place.
And would you also say that part of why you're not there is not just COVID and those reasons, but it was that you hit the lull after you accomplished all those goals?
Yeah, I was home. I spent more time with my kids during COVID than I have in years. I mean, that sounds terrible. I see my kids every day, right? But like quality, like going to the park and that kind of thing. And so I kind of had a little bit of a mindset shift for a hot minute, and now I'm balancing.
Yeah. So, Terry, how about you?
Let's see. So last year, I think I made, GCI was like maybe 38 or 33, something like that. And, you know, coming from where I came from, that was just like, right? But I'm already there now. So for me, like, you know, talking about where I came from and where I'm going.
To double in our business.
Yes, I'm doubling. So if I can continue to double, it's, you know, my goal ultimately is to do in my business what my husband's doing in his business. And believe me, that's a mighty goal. It's a mighty goal, but it can happen. And during COVID, my business has really taken off. Probably because I'm a lazy person when it comes to events and.
When your people were home.
Yeah, my people were home.
Right? That was
exactly. My people were home, and Kristen forced me to do an open house earlier in the year, and I got a sell by out of it. So every time I argue with her, and then, you know, I'm going to do it anyway, so I ought to just fast forward to saying, okay, I'll do it.
But that's no fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of questions do y'all have? Yeah.
I had a whole list, but you already went through that.
Yeah, I tried to be purposeful in what I do.
I love that. First of all, thank you guys, because like you guys are human. I don't know why I feel like looking up to y'all, like you're superhuman. We can't attain what you've already attained. So really appreciate that. You know, we can give ourselves some grace too.
So get to know the other people, do the mega camp, show up at team meetings, come to the office.
To what you just said,
Yeah.
I know where you're sitting. I feel the same way still when I see other people in the office, and then I'll go to the drop down report and I'm like, I'm number 20 or 19 in over 350 agents, and I'm like, oh, really? Like thinking, wait a second,
Pretty great.
yeah. But I was thinking, what are these other people doing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like, but I feel the same way as you.
Yeah.
So
Well, looking back at yourself like your first day of real estate, what would you tell yourself? What's the one thing that you'd say, hey, do this, or
Stop making excuses.
Yeah, get over yourself. For me, I mean, you asked for me, so yeah, get over yourself.
My favorite thing to say when I'm teaching Ignite, I think I said it in one of the classes I taught you, is you cannot deposit excuses into your bank account. So get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
so
struggle
if I
in real
could,
estate,
I'd be
it's because
rich.
you're not working.
And when you come into coaching and you want to give me all these excuses, I'm cutting you off.
Yep.
Mhm.
If you struggle in
There's no
real estate,
try.
you're not working.
There is no try, and everybody can have an excuse. We can all, everybody has life.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that your dog threw up, your kids, you know, running late, your husband's sick, the car broke down. I mean, it's all.
Daughter-in-law's got a
it's-
brain tumor, all those things.
Yeah,
happen
yeah,
this
her
year.
daughter-in-law had, yeah. I mean, so there's always
Everything.
something. Yeah, you had a lot. She had a lot of
Still
family
going
stuff too that happened. Bam, 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 bam.
And I'm
She was
such
hit.
a terrible person that every time I'm somewhere that isn't thinking about real estate,
I didn't even,
it's
I'll say,
terrible, but
Kristen, you were the reason that I knew that I could do real estate, because I was struggling at first because, well, you said something in a meeting together and you said I was a single mom with a,
Yeah.
with a 2-year-old, I think.
Yeah,
And she said she was doing all this business. And I'm like,
if she can do it, I can do it.
well, you made it, because everywhere else I heard like, oh, you have to work nights and weekends and this and that. And you were like, no, I made time for my kid. I made my business work around what I did. I'm like, oh, I can do that, and I don't have to work these crazy hours. And I don't. I put hard stipulations on like my voicemail. If you call me after this time, I'll return your call the next business day. I mean, it's
about setting the expectations with your clients up front, right?
I feel like that's all real estate is setting the expectations up front.
So, did you have another question?
and I think you've answered everything. That was awesome.
also, look, when I started out here, I was intimidated by everybody else, so out of my zones of everything. Everybody intimidated me. People came in to teach Ignite, and I'm like, I am never going to be there, blah, blah, blah. It's just not going to happen. But once you give it up, you realize they're just human beings too. Carlos, when he came in here, he was going around to meet all the agents, and I had a desk out here, and I avoided him, deliberately avoided him. I did not want to meet the broker because I'm like, you know I'm going to screw up. I still screw up on my contracts when it goes to compliance. You know, I was working 3 at one time. And last year, I think I had 4 going at one time, and it can get you've got to be organized. You've got a lot of stuff going on. So I made a deal, and I told him I would tell you all this. If you make a mistake in a contract, you owe him a bottle of liquor. It can be a miniature one.
And then he's going to start looking for all the mistakes in your contract.
And he would, you know, you'll be in compliance. I did.
He's going to skip right over mine and go to Terry.
That's what Kitty tried to say too, but you know what he said? He said now he's going to concentrate on me because he knows I'll pay up. So he wants to cut me some slack because he's a nice person. He really doesn't want me spending all that money. Because what I did last week is I bought him in 3 miniature bottles. And then I had.
I didn't know that secret.
What? About the mistakes in the contract?
About the liquor, yeah.
Oh, well, because it's fun because he gets, well, you know, he doesn't want me saying, he's going, you don't have to do this, you don't have, and we're good buds because the other thing is I joined a committee, right? And I joined the vendor committee because I figured that was something I knew. And I've been doing that for, you know, the 2 years. And I think you get to know people and you realize they're just human beings. You know, I think it's kind of funny to be sitting up here and have somebody say that, actually.
Hey, let
But
me
I
ask you
remember
this.
being exactly there.
Do
Exactly.
people all the time come and ask you to sponsor things? You want to, and you think you should go spend money on this kind of marketing? You should buy leads.
Yeah.
You should.
I do not spend
Tell them
money
about
on
that. Okay, so listen.
I do not spend money on leads.
Now she's doing ads. Okay, she's
Facebook,
boosting her listings, but she is not buying a zip code from homes.com or realtor.com. They're not worth it.
They're not.
Do not spend the money.
If you do what you learn here at Keller Williams, you're going to find the money. You're going to find the leads.
Okay, so just real quick before we finish, last question, or maybe second to last question. Tell us about your B&I. How much does that cost? How often do they meet? Tell us about networking groups. And how do you get in? And yeah, what does that look
Highly
like?
recommend networking. I'm in Power Core. That is what's called a closed seat group. I think it's like just a smidgen under 500 a year. It's like maybe 138 a quarter or something like that. Closed seat meaning only one realtor on the group, only one lender on the group. So it's hard to get in them. So if you are interested in a power
You better get on a list.
or BNI, go onto their site and get your name on a list, because when a seat comes open, it's called a hot seat. So when I went up for mine, it was me and 4 other realtors. And the only reason they chose me for their team is because I followed up with a handwritten thank you note to every single person on that team.
Imagine that.
Yep. That
And
was
did
what
you
set me
notice that
apart.
she said what she was correctly? What did she say she was? Real. I love that. Okay.
Realtor.
Yeah.
And then you've got like Woodstock Business Club. I go there every Thursday. We meet downtown Woodstock at the amphitheater. It is not closed seat. So there's 3 other realtors in that group that I'm learning a ton of stuff from. Awesome group. You guys should come. Ball Ground Business Club meets the first Tuesday of the month.
They're everywhere.
They're $50 a year. Fantastic.
Okay.
Like, I did $30,000 last year in networking.
Okay, so you got the key, right? You got to talk to people. It's all about how do I get more exposure,
Yeah.
right? So if you don't know people and you're not from here, you got to do open houses and you got to do networking groups. You got to get involved somewhere.
I used to wear your name tag everywhere. Like,
Wear your name tag everywhere.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so tell them about the birthday videos. Who's doing birthday videos? And yeah.
I
Okay.
just redid mine.
Okay. So just tell them what you're doing there.
I have seen.
So I have did you? So I have a new one with my KW
You're
hat
probably the only
because
people I don't
Coach
follow.
got all over me because it wasn't branded. So I send, oh my gosh, it's your birthday month. And so everybody that's got a birthday coming up in September, it'll go out the 1st of September. And then I follow up with a handwritten card if I have their address, and just say, oh my gosh, happy birthday. And then on the day of their birthday, I post something on their timeline.
So how easy is that? Right? So create a birthday video, and I told her to go make sure it was branded. So we want some subliminal messaging going on. So your KW hat, KW shirt, your name tag, your signs kind of in the background, have some balloons, right? Have one of those horns, you know, and say, hey, I saw it was your birthday month. I wanted to be the first to wish you happy birthday, right? Send them all out to everybody who you're friends with on the first day of the month. The same video, right? So you only got to do 1 or 2 videos, right? Then you're sending the birthday card. If you can afford to do the lottery ticket, put the lottery ticket in there and say,
I just started that.
hey, when you win the $1 million, let me know and I'll find you your dream home, okay? And then you can post on their wall, right? That's 3 connections with somebody where they're seeing your name and they're relating you to real
In
estate.
1 month.
Bam, 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 bam,
Yeah.
bam. And that's the easiest call. That's a happy reason, right?
Everybody loves hearing from people on their birthday.
They do. And if
At
you
least
just
I
do
do.
it on their wall, it gets lost in and all the stuff with everybody else, right? So that's why reaching out is so important. Okay, so y'all give them a big round of applause. Thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate your wisdom and being open to share and yeah, come back. Would y'all like to have them back? So here's what I'm going to say. If you come up now that you've heard all this, and we did record it, so if you want to go back and listen to it again, you'll be able to do that. Y'all didn't know you were going out. Yeah. So somebody just told me that Georgia was some kind of state where only one party has to give permission to be recorded, and it could be you. And so I recorded it without you telling me. I granted the permission. Okay, so if you have, so now you'll probably come up with some other questions. You might want to, post those, send those, right? And we will make sure that